Hello and welcome back this weekend. I hope you're all having a great day wherever you are, and I'm here with some stories that have caught my attention. I wanted to wait a while, but you know what? Because of the nature of the story that is developing, I would like to cover it. So let's get into this. And courtesy of LBC News, we have some new reportage concerning the coronation. So some of this is still in the rumor category. I want to stress that. So take some of these with a pinch of salt. So the article says this: King Charles still wants Prince Harry at his coronation despite his, quote, bombshell claims in the memoir Spare, and is weighing up broadcasting an interview which could see him asked about the revelations. The article goes on to say, but William fears his brother could use an appearance for a stunt and steal the limelight if his trip to the UK is not tightly controlled, it has been reported. Charles is said to have asked Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, to thrash out a deal that would allow Harry and Meghan to attend the ceremony at Westminster Abbey in May. It is claimed he believes the Sussexes' absence would end up being a bigger distraction than if they attended. A deal could see Harry and Meghan get given a prominent seat at the coronation, or a suggestion that Harry can keep his titles. That's interesting. The article goes on to say there was speculation over whether he would get an invite after his series of TV interviews and the often damaging claims in Spare, which included his thoughts on Charles and Camilla and fights with William. So they go on talking about sources, palace sources, so I'll skip over that. We always take those as unconfirmed, so I will not go into that. So the article moves ahead and talks about the fact that Prince William is said to have some pause concerning Prince Harry coming to the coronation without him being, quote, tightly controlled. The article says Harry could take focus away from the court royals, possibly by going on a walkabout tour in a deprived part of London with Meghan. What? What? That is so out there. So, of course, in another article that I read, I'll interject here. It was said that King Charles wants the Archbishop to have William and Harry sit down and, try and broker some kind of peace deal between the two brothers before the coronation. And the article says here that Buckingham Palace and the Archbishop Lambeth Palace did not respond to the claims, while a source close to William was, quote, unaware of any coronation negotiations. The big part that I skipped over, I'm just going to, long story short, it says that Prince Harry and the palace are in negotiations, basically trying to smooth over terms that would make it agreeable for Harry and Meghan to attend the coronation. All this including titles being kept and, what role he would play in the coronation. So yeah, all this is courtesy of those, quote, palace sources. So that's why I didn't want to get into that. So this is the major part of the story. The article says this: meanwhile, the king may end up commenting on revelations in Spare as he weighs up giving an interview to the BBC. The corporation wants to make a profile about his life and what he wants to achieve as king. They say that Jonathan Dimbleby may be used to carry out the interview, but the palace is worried about what the monarch will be asked. So an insider had said that plans were already up and running for coronation coverage at the BBC, including the profile on the monarch. It is not the done thing to avoid subjects in interviews, so it makes matters, quote, tricky. So they say that any comment on Harry and Meghan would make worldwide news and would prompt a response from Harry. And, they just kind of say that that is quite delicate. And as we all know, King Charles, that's old hat to him. He has, in the past, had his own stints taking interviews, and we all know he had his very famous spot in his interview with Jonathan Dimbleby in 1994 that also followed the Princess Diana response in kind with the Martin Bashir interview that she also did the next year. So what do you guys think about that word that is out there that perhaps, and as I said before, take it with a pinch of salt, that Charles could return to television once again to break perhaps his silence on Prince Harry and have that interview with Dimbleby on the BBC. All this, by the way, as part of media coverage in the lead up to his coronation in May. What do you think about that? I would like to know your thoughts. Now, as I said before, it's a rumor, so I want to stress that there is no official confirmation on this story. But as we know concerning King Charles, he in the past has had that long time friendship with Dimbleby, and he is someone who is media, I wouldn't call it savvy, because what he spoke about in his interview back in the day was just such, it was just a foot in the mouth moment for him, confirming his affair and on and on. But Charles, I will say, has an understanding of getting narrative out there. That's why he tried to do that interview all those years ago and it backfired. But right now, it's his coronation. He wants to put out his own agenda for his time on the throne and what he would like to accomplish. And he's someone who, to me, he kind of seems to be someone who would like to have that overview of what he's done all the years as, Prince of Wales and now as king, and his agenda moving forward. So that is something that's right up his alley. And they say that if he does have that time to sit down, the fear is that when he is asked about Harry or Meghan or Spare or the documentary or whatever, that whatever he says will just create a media storm. So, what do you think about that? We all know, by the way, that plans are already up and running for coronation coverage at various outlets, including the BBC, and all will be doing their own profiles on the monarch. For any of them to secure a one-on-one with him, I think that they would have gotten a great interview. Any station, whether it's ITV or BBC or on and on. So there is that possibility. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think Charles could go ahead and do a pre-coronation interview and release his own footage for use by the media? And, just have a behind the scenes in his life and perhaps mention Harry and Meghan or address what has been spoken about in Spare and on and on? I would like to know your thoughts. So I wanted to share this with you on this weekend. I love you all so much. And also, let me know your thoughts on this. I've been going through a couple of comments on this story, and it's interesting. Some people are saying that, of course, first and foremost, they're saying that he will not do any kind of sit down. And it's also interesting to have, people saying that it would be good for him to speak up. And also questioning how controlled, in quotes, the questions would be. And there are those in the camp who are saying, why doesn't he just go directly and speak to Prince Harry like, quote, normal families do, instead of doing an interview to, quote, hit back at his son? And of course, bearing in mind that as Charles is crowned king and is anointed, that he will have the position of the supreme governor of the Church of England, and that is the titular head of the Church of England, a position which is vested in the British monarch. So, while he is there, acknowledged as the, quote, supreme governor of the Church of England, it would be interesting for him to, I think, also have that heart in mind that is following scripture, that is about forgiveness, that is about, him being that head of his family. How are you going to head the church if you can't head your own home, right? So there is also the camp who just does not care if he does it or not. But my goodness, the quote of him speaking up now to hit back, that is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. And I would have loved if it was true that he had in fact approached the Archbishop to have that meeting where he would try and broker peace between William and Harry. I think that would have been so much better. And there are also some people who are, pointing out the hypocrisy of people saying that, yes, and people rejoicing that now King Charles would, if this is all to be true, give an interview. And they were the same ones lambasting Harry and Meghan when they did the same to speak up about their own grievances. Something else that is quite fascinating to me as I consider the possibilities of this interview. When I think about what Harry and Meghan have said in especially their interview with Oprah and their, the book Spare and just what they've spoken about. If, for example, he is asked, let's say about what Meghan spoke concerning Archie and Lily and their titles. She spoke about the fact that she was approached and told that they were going to change the law concerning the children getting their titles. And, that is letters that were patent, dated November the 30th, 1917. She spoke about it, and a lot of people were saying perhaps she did not understand. But we know even now, even to date, that they do not have their prince and princess titles. And let me read this to you. This is what is stated in that letters patent. They say this, quote, "The children of any sovereign of these realms and the children of the sons of any such sovereign, as per the letters patent of 1864, and the eldest living son of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, a modification of the letters patent of 1898, in brackets, shall have and at all times hold and enjoy the style, title, and attribute of Royal Highness with their titular dignity of Prince or Princess prefixed to their respective Christian names or with their other titles of honor," end quote. So that has proven to be true what Meghan said. What if he's asked about the leaks? If anyone who is truly looking for the truth would ask, is there any truth to the claims that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were being briefed against? Let's just ask a question to Prince Charles, or King Charles. How did the tabloid find out that Harry and Meghan were planning to step back from senior working members just a short while after Harry was told to put it in writing by the then Prince of Wales, now of course King Charles, by his office? So who leaked the information to the tabloids? So it is quite interesting to me. If he was truly to have a sit down where truth was to be sought, I think that they would be putting themselves in a more untenable situation of trying to defend their position, that Harry and Meghan are just people who are out there trying to cause trouble. And you know what? It's interesting. I've seen a lot of people saying that, Harry sitting down and doing all these interviews is just so Diana, the worst qualities of his mom. But I would just challenge that by saying that, Prince Harry, he's learned from the best. His mom had her interviews, but, Charles, as I said before, he kind of got the ball rolling with his own interview and book, by the way. Talk about his father's son in that aspect. So we all know Charles has had, Charles has had that long-standing relationship with Jonathan Dimbleby, where he had that interview with him, that sit down, where they delved into a lot of topics of his life. And not only that, the book as well, his authorized biography that was written with Charles's corporation, where it was reported that Charles turned over intimate letters and journals for the book and checked for, quote, its factual accuracy. So you know what? It's old hat for that family. That's old hat for King Charles. He has done everything that we are seeing Prince Harry doing right now in that regard. So I think anyone criticizing Harry for that, or even Charles criticizing Harry for that without any compassion that he himself has done the same, that is just hypocrisy in my book, right? And his book, which, by the way, was not received well by his own family at the time. And this is an interesting quote from that. Let me read this out to you. It's so you can know, people should not basically be calling out Prince Harry, because this would be the pot calling the kettle black. So this is what was written, quote, "So Dimbleby stated that both the Queen and Philip were emotionally distant. As a child, Dimbleby wrote that Charles was, quote, easily cowed by the forceful personality of his father, whose rebukes for a, quote, deficiency in behavior or attitude easily drew tears," end quote. Interesting. Friends who spoke with Charles's permission also described the Duke of Edinburgh, who died last month at 99, as, quote, belittling, even bullying towards his son. Charles was less harsh about his mother, whom he dubbed, quote, not indifferent so much as detached. So all these were in the book. So just food for thought as we all think about the fact that, Harry, as he spoke out, his dad has done the same. So for the Windsors, nothing new. Who knows, even in the future, perhaps William or Kate could sit down and have their own interviews. And I say, you know what, bring it on. If anyone has anything to add to this, let them go ahead. I think that people should speak up and let their words be weighed by the public. And one more thing I'd like to point out concerning Charles, having his own interview and his own biography that was written by Dimbleby with his blessing. This is a quote that stood out for me in the coverage of all of that. So see how it was received. Get this. There was a bit of fallout from his authorized biography. In this media coverage, it said this quote, "Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, delivered a public rebuke today to his son, the Prince of Wales, for cooperating with a biography that presents the prince as someone who underwent a lonely childhood, has an unsatisfactory relationship with his parents, and was browbeaten into a loveless marriage." Excerpts from the book, which will go on sale next month, appeared over the weekend in the Sunday Times, which has a circulation of nearly 1.2 million. It has proved a bombshell. My gosh, they love that word. And of course, they go on to talk about how, it took the top spot on front pages. So as I said before, I don't think anyone should be upset at Prince Harry for having his interviews and his sit-downs and his book that he has, because we've seen it all in another fashion with Charles and of course with Diana as well. So we've seen this all before, as I've said. This is nothing new to the Windsors, and if any of them want to give interviews, I say, you know what, go ahead and let the public weigh all of the facts, because I think everyone right now are a lot smarter and can take in a lot of information at this point. So once again, I want to know all your thoughts on all of this. Let's wait and see what happens. A lot of people claim to have the inside look and inside track on what's going on behind the scenes. But for now, let's just take all this, as I said before, with a pinch of salt. My personal hope would be that, in fact, the Archbishop would try and sit Harry and William down and get to the bottom of this. I think that would be so much better. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Expect a lot more coronation coverage concerning Harry and Meghan as we approach the date, and let's all keep an open mind. And as I've said before in previous videos, that whatever Prince Harry and Meghan decide to do in the end, I think we're just going to have to support them. This is a family at the end of the day, and all in all, I think when the dust settles and it's all is said and done, I think we all want them to come to the table and talk from a very genuine place. So share your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching, and a special thank you to those who support this channel financially. I would like to give a shout out to a couple of you here who've been so generous. And now a special thank you to Teresa Marhelko. I appreciate you, and I want to say thank you for all you do for this channel. Thank you. And a thank you to Ethnie Green. Ethnie, you warm my heart. I'm so grateful to God for your support. Thank you. And thank you to you, Valerie Smith. Thank you for all the ways that you engage on this channel, for your comments, for your love and your giving. Thank you. And a special thank you to Deanna Animation. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I value the support that you give in this channel. Truly, I do. Now, thank you to those who gave super thanks. I want to say thank you to Faith Wilson. Thank you for your generosity. God bless you. And thank you to those who've given through PayPal. Thank you to Angel Watt. Thank you for your continued support for this channel. It truly means so much. I appreciate you. And thank you to a new channel supporter through PayPal. I want to say thank you to you, Erinest Eleazar. I appreciate your giving. Thank you for choosing to come along with me on this journey and partner in this work. Thank you. Thank you for choosing to come along with me on this journey. You truly are hand in hand with me in this work. I want to say thank you. And thank you to those who like, comment, and share. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. Let the algorithm know you enjoyed what you watched. Once again, leave your thoughts below. I love you all, and I wish you all a great and a happy day. Have a great one, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.